voices every out.
This is Starr Radio UK.
Welcome. Broadcasting worldwide online 24/7.
This is Starr Radio UK.
Broadcasting worldwide online 24/7.
Do you need to move? Stress not. Quake Removals is here to assist you. We do all kinds of removal, house-to-home removal, commercial and domestic removal, office and storage removal services and more. We are located in London and you can call Quake Removals on 0759 4050 979 or info@quakemedia.com.
Online, on mobile, soon on DAB. This is Starr Radio UK, the leading African Caribbean radio station.
Are you a nurse, midwife, doctor, social worker or healthcare professional? Are you currently having capability or disciplinary issues at work? Have you recently been referred to the NMC, ACPC, GMC, any other regulatory bodies? Do you need confidential expert advice on work issues and professionalism? Do you need representation for your NMC, GMC, ACPC, intern or substantive hearing? If your answer is yes, please contact Dr. Abiaki Oshun of ERRAS, Employment Rights Representation and Advisory Service on 0208 305 7438 or 0207 140 0111 0745 195 6510. Our team of experts are ready to assist you in.
You know when you're all comfy and you can't find the remote? Just like, okay, Google, play Stranger Things from
Online,
Netflix.
on mobile,
It's a
soon
little
on
helper Google
DAB.
way.
This is Starr Radio UK, the leading African Caribbean radio station.
Welcome to On Asia. On today's countdown, we will be talking about the top 10 youngest presidents in Africa. But before we start, tell us how old your president.
Online, on mobile, soon on DAB. This is Starr Radio UK, the leading African Caribbean radio station.
ọ̀rọ̀ tí ń ṣokòfà ní ìṣọ̀run tó ń ṣokòjì náà ló ń ṣe gbá.
This is Starr Radio UK.
ọ̀rọ̀ tí ń ṣokòfà ní ìṣọ̀run o èyí tó ń ṣokòfà náà ló ń ṣe gbá. ọ̀rọ̀ tó ń ṣàbọ̀ ẹ̀dẹ̀ tó mú mọ́ra tí yóò sọ̀rọ̀ ó ti dá mi lójú gbogbo lọ́yà ló máa kọ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ ò bá mọ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ bèrè o.
Welcome.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Online, on mobile, soon on DAB. This is Starr Radio UK, the leading African Caribbean radio station.
Adéyìnmí ká olókun ọ̀la, Àyìndé ògún bàrí wọn dá. If you wanna see bàrí wọn dá, you gonna see wọn dá bò. Kọ́ni tó ò fẹ́ kọ́ ṣàlàyé ẹ̀ka ayé gbọ́. gbogbo aláboyún lé tí wọ́n ti wájú ṣe ìsínú. Béwé ṣe ń bọ̀ ó látọ̀rí igi pẹ̀lú àṣẹ aláwùrà bí. Bí kò ní pa lára ẹ̀, gbogbo yín lẹ máa bímọ yé. Agbóhùn ìyá pẹ̀lú ọmọ ẹ̀, gbogbo yín lẹ máa bí wẹ́rẹ́. Lọ́jọ́ tọ́mọ tó ti kẹ́rù sọ́kọ̀ o, pọ́nwúrẹ́ ilé ayé. Tó bá ti dénú ìyá rẹ̀ ló ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ dání ní. Bálaboyún bá yọ lókèrè, tó bá rojú kókó. Ìbùnú wọn mọ àdàmọ́, wọ́n ní ta ló rán níṣẹ́ o. Nígbà tó ń jẹ́ ẹgbàdùn ẹ̀, talẹ̀ ń tó wí fún. Wọ́n lọ́lọ́ kórí orí ìranù, kí ló wá ń rojú kókó fún. Báwo bá bímọ rí, ara mọ́ lẹ́yìn adìyẹ o.
Broadcasting worldwide online 24/7.
Àtìlẹ́ ewúrẹ́ tó bímọ mẹ́fà rí, ọ̀sẹ̀ tó kọjá lára gùntàn. Tó bímọ mẹ́jọ lápapọ̀, wọn ò kunra mẹ́ anybody. Tí wọ́n fi bí ń tán fẹ́ bí, bóun náà fi ń tó wá nínú ẹ̀. Káàárín ń tó fẹ́ bí. Bálábóyún bẹ̀rẹ̀ bímọ, àwọn ló máa kọ́ kí ìdí eku ewu ọmọ. Wọ́n sọ ká ò lè bí.
In your car,
At work,
at home,
on your smartphone.
Ìbùnú ọmọ àdàmà.
Broadcasting worldwide online 24/7.
Báyìí ló yẹ kó yà sí. Òyà lé olówó. Wọ́n gbàgbé ìfọ́lọ́wọ́ tó.
Wow. Good evening and welcome. This is Starr Radio UK, Niger Voices. And my name is Olayomi Koike. And we welcome to you this edition, the 18th of September 2019. Let's enjoy Barista. A lot of you might not understand what he's talking about, but it's quite deep. It's called reality. Let's take a listen before we start the show.
Ẹni táráyé ti rò pé kò lè pàgọ́ o, ló ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ rí ọdún wọn lọ́hùn Àyìndé Àgbàjọlọ́lá. Ìgbà tí mò ń ṣe jáǹfò kọ̀ǹdọ́tọ̀, ìdí òró sájégúnlẹ̀, ẹnìkan ò rí mi.
Welcome.
I welcome every one of you. As you're logging in, you can share the page, invite your friend, and let us discuss Nigeria.
Ní Yaba lọ́jọ́ sí, ọba lẹ́ńdé tó ṣálẹ́ǹdì, ẹnìkan ò bínú rárá. Motor boy ní Nigerian beauty. Tí mò ń lọ jábìyà, báwọn kan ó sọmọ ẹnìkan ò bínú rárá.
And we welcome everyone again to Niger Voices, where we'll be looking at, so many development events, upcoming events, and so many things, back here in United Kingdom as well, and also back in Nigeria. I will be telling you so much, but for the time being, let's listen and enjoy the music a little bit. It's called Reality by the late Dr. Sikiru Ayinde Barrister.
Ẹnìkan ò rí mi. Nígbà tí mò ń jẹun láláì lẹ́rọ̀ o, tí mò ń jẹun láláì lẹ́jà, ẹnìkan kan ò rí mi. Nísìnyí tọ́lọ́hun ọba wò mí dàgbà, tí mo lè jẹun lẹ́ẹ̀mẹ́ta àjẹkánú. Ẹni bá gbé kí n má jáyé mi Àyìndé. Jẹ́sọ̀rọ̀ yín dọ́bọ̀ fóònù ẹ̀rí. Jẹ́sọ̀rọ̀ yín bí ìṣáàkì lọ́ọ́ bá ẹja o. Just all right.
Once again, welcome. It's Niger Voices. My name is Olayomi Koike. If you're joining us for the very first time, this comes to you every Wednesday from 1800 hours to 2000 hours, where we look at so many things happening within the Nigerian community. And also, you can be part of the show by calling 0208 133 2257. And this evening, we're just going to be looking at, the development, what has been the latest news, what has been trending. Have you listened to, the new directives, 500,000 naira? Yes, you must not carry cash in Nigeria. Let's listen to Barrister.
Welcome.
I wish I can translate what it's discussing and what it's saying, but I'll play something that is a bit similar to what you're listening to now. But just stay tuned, we're just starting the show. One thing is, for us to develop Nigeria, everybody has a role to play. Your role is going to be different from mine, but you must do something, no matter how small it is. Complaining enough might not solve the problem, but sometimes finding solution to the problem is part of it as well. Let's listen to Reality by the late Dr. Sikiru Ayinde Barrister. I'll put a pause on that, and then I'm gonna give you something else as well. Something to those that are not, that doesn't speak, Yoruba. Or, maybe a lot of people that doesn't even understand, what I'm listening to. But I'm sure you'll be able to listen to this just in about a few minutes. And I'd like to say thank you very much, everyone, as you're logging in. You can share the page, invite your friends. This is Starr Radio UK, and this show is called Niger Voices. I remain your host, Olayomi Koike. And one thing is, so many times, we look at, which way Nigeria, and that is the next track coming. And I'm sure a lot of you will listen to this and ask so many questions. Which way Nigeria? Which way to go? Which way to go? Which way to go? Which way to go? I love my fatherland. I love to go, I love to go. Which way to go? I love my fatherland. Oh yeah. I want to know which way Nigeria is heading to. Many years after independence, we still find it hard to start. How long shall we be patient before we reach the promised land? Are we gonna reach the promised land? I don't know. You can call the studio on 0208-133-2257 and let us share the conversation together. This is Niger Voices. Yes, I want to know. Every little thing that goes wrong, we start to blame the government. Yes, we're blaming the government. Everything that goes wrong because we are part of the government. We are part of the government. Do you know the corruption taking place every day outside Nigeria, inside Nigeria? It's all about every one of us. Inefficiency and indiscipline is ruining the country now. Inefficiency is ruining the country now. Sonny Okosu said so, not me. And everybody wants to travel out.
So Nigeria won't die.
Nigeria must not die. This is Niger Voices. If you're listening for the very first time on Star Radio UK, we're on Twitter at Star Radio UK.
Yes, I want to.
This is Starr Radio UK.
At home.
On your smartphone.
We made mistakes,
We made mistake.
not knowing that was our doing. Some people now have everything, while many have nothing.
Many have nothing.
Let's save Nigeria.
Billions, 72 billion naira, according to the House of Rep. 1,700 contractor never even mobilized to the site. Where is the money? Do you love your fatherland?
Green revolution is a reality. Let's give it a chance to grow. Let's join our hands to farm the land so we can have enough food to show.
Are you doing anything in farming? No matter how small, just start something. Thank you very much, Yusuf Sese. I hope I got that pronounced very well. Chichi and Sheyi Adebake. And those of you already logged in, continue to share the page and invite your friend. This is called Niger Voices.
Our ambition to be millionaires is running the country down.
Everybody wants to be a millionaire one day. It doesn't matter how. They don't care.
In the end, oh, let's
Yet we blame the government for everything.
Nigeria won't die.
Are you dancing to the tune, or you're thinking, you're reflecting and looking at the issues affecting us as Nigerians? You know, the South Africans issue. A lot of Nigerians that are invested so much. I read an article today and I was weeping.
Remember that a simple step is the beginning of a million miles.
Yes, a little simple step. Just start.
Build ourselves so as to make the country smile. Let's save Nigeria.
We must save Nigeria so that it doesn't die. Which way to go? And this is,
Welcome.
we welcome you. This is just the prep, the prepare of the show. And I will take the last one before we go straight into the business of the day. As you're joining us, thank you very much, Crown Ventures. Continue to share the page. Which way Nigeria?
Let's save Nigeria so Nigeria won't fall.
You're complaining. You keep complaining. What are you doing yourself? You, looking at me. What are you doing? To all my producers, I say thank you very much for making the show reality, Mr. Archie, Frank, and all the other presenters. But tonight is called Niger Voices. Make sure you stay tuned. Emmanuel, thank you for joining us. And those are our listeners around the world in other African countries. What are you doing to make Africa a better place? Or do you just want to come to Europe as well? If everybody runs out of Africa, who are we going to leave Africa for? I just don't know.
Let's save Nigeria.
We must save Nigeria. We have to. Because the next generation is going to ask a lot of questions. They're going to look at, those of you that are, maybe by then, I will be in my 90 and they'll be asking questions. What do you do? What was the impact you put into making Nigeria and Africa a better place? This is called Niger Voices. And this is now for those, greedy politicians. That promise and promise and promise, yet nothing is coming true. They promise everything. They promise heaven and earth. But do we get nothing? Yes, nothing. And this is for the politicians. Let us reflect and ask so many questions, but sometimes we must put solution to those questions. It's called Niger Voices. When you look at the history of Nigeria, when you look at all the politicians up to date, there's just so many questions that you will ask yourself. I saw in Ogun State, some civil servants taking exams. I hope some politicians can do those kind of exams as well. This is called Niger Voices. And this is Starr Radio UK.
Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
We'll be looking at so many directives coming through. We'll be looking at why has the president, a panel was set up in 2017 by the acting president then. It looks like the president has put a hold on that, and that is now in the care of the Ministry for Justice. And also we'll be looking at some other issues relating to that. And what has been trending in your own area, whether you live in US, in America, in Canada. I say US, America, it's the same thing, with this Donald Trump and all this, happening as well. Do you know that when you, next month, even if you give birth as an American citizen outside Nigeria, that child might not be an American citizen? I hope you don't hear that too. Don't say I told you that. It's all happening here this evening. Make sure you stay tuned. So many things that we're going to be looking at, but you can be part of the conversation. You can join us on 0208-133-2257, and the show is called Niger Voices.
Welcome.
Yes, welcome. This is just a prep. Gra. Yes, so we must all search our conscience. You're going back to Nigeria, you have that little money you want to give that immigration officer, so that goods, that good that is not allowed to get into the country, so that you can just take it inside and you blame the government. Yes, every time overseas, the late Abacha loot, amazing amount of money. It looks like even though Abacha has died long time ago, but anytime we need money, we give him a ring and say, look, Abacha, where is that money? And that money keeps coming back to us. This is called Niger Voices. My name is Olayomi Koike, and I'll be taking you through the program for the next 1.5 hours or so. Make sure you stay tuned. It's painful. Almost 182 billion naira has now been released for road network across the country. Let's hope we can get a better road network, because some of the roads, I saw an article today on a family, I think the wife and about 3 kids died in a motor accident. I was reading through Rexton is one man that has been saying that revolution when it comes to farming, it's not the kind of revolution you might think of. Is coming to farming in revolution. If you follow some of what he has been doing, and you will be amazed that we have some Nigerians that are inside Nigeria that are doing very well and are still making us very proud. And it's quite a lot happening back home. But one thing is that we also have Nigerians that are making us very proud right here in United Kingdom. We have so many upcoming events that we'll be looking at. So make sure you stay tuned as well, so that you can be able to get up-to-date information, whether you're just going back home from a very hectic day. How is work today? Maybe you're just resuming, because we are all living in different time zone. So some people are going to bed, some people are waking up, and it's quite about 6:30. It's getting a bit cold, in London. And when I was leaving home, I was thinking, they said British weather. Should I take my jacket or should I just leave it at home? I say, this summer is almost finishing, so let me not gamble with it. So I went out with my jacket and I got on the train. And, each time I sat on that train, and I can reflect and say to myself, the amount of people that the train picks from, Highbury and Islington all the way through to West Croydon. It's quite amazing. And at the back of my mind, I'm thinking, if we have, similar, to what we see, back in any part of the state in Nigeria, wouldn't it be amazing if somebody traveling from Songwater going into Lagos Island without even going through the road, you just jump on the train, boom, it takes you straight in there. Or somebody traveling from, from the northern part of the country coming down to the east, without thinking of going through the road. Because sometimes, when you go on the train, there's certain things that you can see. But the question is, what has happened in the last decades that our infrastructure has just gone flathead? And the ones that are coming up as well, I was reading a report while I was on the train coming into the studio, and it baffles my mind that even the Kaduna Abuja rail, the train service, the article I read kept thinking to myself, we borrowed huge substantial of money from the next man, the Chinese, and if we are not careful, from what I read, that means we might be struggling to pay back this loan, because it seems you remember those days when the Nigerian Airways, everybody wants to get a free ticket, thinking you can just get to the airport and board the plane without thinking of paying nothing. This notion of us that we must get everything for free. People believe that it doesn't matter, it's just part of the national cake, not realizing that loan was taken out for the purpose of that project, and that loan has to be delivered back. If not, this colonization of the Chinese might become a reality. Because if Nigerians today believe that they can get on the train without paying, just like we were doing, in the 80s, when we had that beautiful airline. You all remember the Nigerian Airways. Do you know that some people didn't pay dime? They never paid anything, because they believe at the back of their mind that as long as, there's always been incentive. Incentive is part of, working for any organizations around the world. You work for Google, there will be kind of incentive. You work with Apple, you might be getting maybe not a free. Imagine staff of Apple telling Apple that this new the iPhone 11 that just came out, we want to get it for free. Do you think they can get it for free? There's no way they can. Even if you've been working, in that company for the last 10 years, they're not going to give you a brand new iPhone 11 that just came out for free. Yes, you will get discount. But one thing is, from what I read on what is happening on the Kaduna rail network from Abuja, if that information is right, then we have a big problem. Because I'm trying to pull that article, but my other device, I don't know. You have so many devices in the studio, and sometimes one is giving you a headache, and you look like, let me knock it so that maybe it wakes up. But what that article was saying was, even the clock. I've got a clock. We got a clock here in the studio, and every time I come to the studio, the first thing is I look up there. And I know, okay, we are now 1825 or 1831. Now imagine going on the train and you expect the same thing, that a clock, how much is the battery? There are little things that sometimes, we think it involves big grammar. Who is in charge of making sure that when I get on the train, the clock inside the train is working? Just like I got on the train from Ivory and East Clinton, get into the studio, and the only time I will not see the clock is when it's showing the next platform that you're coming off. But after that, it tells you, and the same goes on, inside the bus as well. So these little things that we leave, and it becomes problem if we cannot put battery inside a clock. Then you can imagine or picture the other areas. And I'm sure, somebody might say, well, it's the government, but, the government have done its own bit. It's now been given to somebody else to manage. And whoever has to manage it now has the responsibility to make sure that the services is there. And I'm just hoping that, good evening, Captain John Okpaku, all the way from, Nigeria. I guess you're in Lagos. Another individual when it comes to agriculture, you can call the studio, and if you want to join, you can also call the WhatsApp line. It's +447539661744, or you could call 0208-133-2257. The article that I read about the situation happening on I'm not talking about the road, I'm talking about the train service from Abuja going into Kaduna. If we are not careful, we would have a loan that has been taken by the federal government going into the drain, because making the money to come back is becoming a big problem. Just like we lost the Nigerian Airways because everybody wanted to go on the Nigerian Airways without paying a pound or a naira, and now we're all struggling because we don't have our own airline. So if you want to travel from London to Nigeria, is either you pay out of your nose with British Airways that is extorting so much out of us. Don't you think so? Do you think British Airways coming to Nigeria is free? Do you think a staff working with the airline today will get a free whole ticket to Nigeria or to Lagos or to Abuja? So why is it that when it comes to paying for services, especially the one that it's work, at least we all saw that the Abuja Kaduna rail network is working, then why is it now that some individuals believe because the road has become a problem? So everyone, even the rich people, those that have money doesn't want to go on that Kaduna Highway Road because of kidnapping and all sort happening. So everybody's trying to make use of the road network. But the problem is, due to that now, we are now seeing huge demands of racketeer taking place according to that article that I read this afternoon. This is Niger Voices. I don't know whether to play back a little bit of let me take you back to reality. It's going to be a mixture of music this evening, so but let's continue with a bit of reality. For those that are non Yoruba speaking, just nod your head and realize that whatever I'm giving you is something very good. So let's take a listen and take the pressure down and look at some other issues. Good evening, Erifade, Israel, and those of you that have logged in, share the page. It's called Niger Voices.
In your car,
At work,
at home,
on your smartphone.
We complain, but inside ourselves we all have problems as well, because like I said, everybody has a role to play. We will hold the government accountable for their own role, but your role, what is it that you think you can go out today and then at the back of your mind knowing that you don't have the right particular for your vehicle, but yet you can give a bit of bribe to the police officer and just say Ogasa, and you blame the government. Today was another Federal Executive Council meeting in the State House. We'll be giving you more details of that, and a huge allocation keeps coming out. We'll be looking at some of what is happening. The response from the PDP regarding the outcome of the court case, it looks like they are still not happy, and they'll be taking that to the Supreme Court. What is happening with Omoyele Sowore? Quite a lot of protest is taking place around the globe. Let's take you back to reality. Do you know we still have so many people in the IDP camps? Unbelievable, inside Nigeria. We have them in Adamawa, we have them all over Nigeria, across, and it seems, maybe firsthand the federal government is working on that. I could see the, a visit to the IDP camp in Norman Host community in Adamawa to get the first-hand assessment. I hope this first-hand assessment is going to be solving some problems inside the IDP. Yes, the first preliminary section of the 74 United Nations JIT chair by the President Tijani Mohammed Bandi, a Nigerian, already took place yesterday. Happy birthday to my brother. Yesterday was a very big one, 40 years old. And we also have Councillor Elizabeth Bright, a young councillor. He was here in the studio with me, one of the youngest, in the country, right here in United Kingdom, doing us proud. Happy birthday to everyone in the month of September. This is Niger Voices. We'll be telling you a little bit more about the situation, regarding this issue between the president and the vice president. But there's now, a press release by the Laolua Konde, the senior special assistant to the vice president, to the president office of the vice president. All these senior advisors. But we'll tell you a little bit more. A committee was set up in 2017 by the then acting president, Professor Yemi Osibajo, but now the president has pulled a plug on that. We'll tell you more details on that. We're also going to be telling you a little bit more from the visit by the audience of the delegation from the World Bank and the International Finance Corporation to the Vice President yesterday as well. We'll be telling you more on that as well.
Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
Okay, now let's take a look into these memo that came out yesterday at about almost this time yesterday, where the President Buhari dissolved the Special Presidential Investigation Panel for Recovery of Public Property. Some individuals, good evening, my big sister all the way from Milton Keynes, Tony Davison Ero, the property pillars. It's all happening this Friday at Pullman Hotel. I got that right, so go get your ticket and make sure you're part of the the first year of the property pillars. A very big we're not talking about politicians that want to invest stolen money. These are individuals that wants to invest, whether you're looking to buy a property or you also have one and you're thinking what ways to do it. Someone should have called you yesterday or maybe today. Tony Davison Ero, your number was given to a Nigerian here in United Kingdom that is having problem with another Nigeria inside their own property. Let's go back to the discussion. Thank you all the way from one of the biggest local governments in Nigeria, AB. Good evening and welcome to Niger Voices. So yesterday, President Buhari dissolved the Presidential Investigation Panel for the Recovery of Public Property. President Muhammad Buhari has dissolved the Special Presidential Investigation Panel for the Recovery of Public Property as currently constituted with Mr. Okoy Obona Obala as the chairman. The Attorney General of the Federation and the Minister for Justice has been directed to immediately take over all outstanding investigations and other activities of the SPIP. The panel was established in August 2017. This was, I think, during those, you all remember when the president was here in UK for, treatment or maybe visit, or whichever way you might want to put it. But the president was here at some time, and then it was when by then the acting president, Professor Yemi Osibajo, signed to investigate specifically mandated cases of corruption, abuse of office, and similar offenses by public officers. President Buhari thanks all the members of the dissolved panel for their services. The president looks forward to receiving the final independent corrupt practice and other related offenses commission report on the ongoing investigation. When this whole drama played out yesterday, I followed the trend on the social media, and a lot of people were like, okay, this was established in 2017 already. For me, it's just far too long. I mean, 2017 to now is about 2 years. Let's put that aside. What has gone wrong? Why has the president unplugged what was settled by the then acting president? And all these, as you know, speculation, rumors, and all that, become, the tone of it. But before I go into it again, let's take a listen to Reality by the late Dr. Sikiru Ayinde Barrister. What will you do? Why you are the acting? I'm just putting the question to those of you that are watching and listening to me this evening on Niger Voices. What will you do? Why you are the acting? When you are acting, imagine I'm the acting director of the studio, and I put some demand and say, look, Niger Voices is gonna add more 3 hours, and the new president comes and said, no, Koike, you can't have that. Will be good. So these are part of the speculation, but let's listen to a little bit more from Reality, because the whole show tonight is about reality reflection, and we go back again to Sonny Okozo, Which Way Nigeria, in a minute. But before I look at the response from Laolu Akonde, let's enjoy the music a bit. The vice presidents have responded. There's no rift, there's no problem, there's no wahala. When somebody say wahala deal, make you run. No. Let's listen. This is Niger Voices, and this is the way we do it every Wednesday. A lengthy response by the Vice President media team. I'm going to be reading that all the way through, and this came out about 2100 hours yesterday. This is Koike, on the Niger Voices, and it can only be
online, on mobile, on DAB. This is Starr Radio UK.
Yes,
Caribbean
we are the leading, and this is called Niger Voices. Let's take a pause from the reality from the late Dr. Sikiru Ayinde Barrister, and let us now take a look into when this was playing out. When that was dissolved, a lot of people were like, okay, interesting. I mean, each time the president leaves the offshore of Nigeria, the acting takes over, and there are some things that the acting put in place. But sometimes, maybe it might just be coincidence. Coincidence now. Nigeria, we like miracle. We love them too much. And individual, thank you very much, Raji Kende, Nikki, for joining. Share the page, invite your friend. It's called Niger Voices, and we're here for another 1 hour 15 minutes. You can call the studio line 0208 133 2257 or 0208-133-2258. If you're calling from US or Canada, 001-718-302737. Am I too fast? Let's go a little bit slower. If you're calling from US and Canada, is 001-718-303-2737. And those of you that wants to call us from Nigeria, we know you. What's up? Okay, plus 4475 3966 1744. Or plus 4475-940-50979. Let us take a listen to what the response from the Vice President office. Report insinuating the Vice President didn't follow due process in supervision of the agency under him is false. Buhari direct Osibajo. Okay, I gotta explain the way this is written. Open bracket. Buhari direct Osibajo to seek approval for agency under him. Close bracket. You understand now? So, our attention has been drawn to a sensational report by the Cable, which claims that His Excellency President Muhammad Buhari has directed Vice President Yemi Osibajo, SAN, to seek approvals for agencies under him. The report suggests firstly that agencies under the supervision of the Vice President do not normally comply with established rules where presidential approvals are required. This is obviously misleading and aims only to plant seed of discord in the presidency while attempting to create unnecessary national hysteria. The agency in questions are established by law, and the Vice President has always insisted on due compliance with the enabling status and other established regulations. Depending on the particular scope of activity in question, agencies may require management approval only at the level of the Director General of the Chief Executive Officer. In this category falls the great majority of their day-to-day activities. It's almost finished. Don't go away. Don't run away. You know, when something is coming from that office, it has to be you understand. However, other activities or procurement with value exceeding a certain threshold require the board approval. This may get to the agency board chair by the Vice President. In few cases where the presidential approval is required, the Director General must seek such approval from the President through the Vice President. These rules have always guided the activities of the statutory agencies, and the ones under the Vice President's supervision have always been so guided. To claim that in the first time of the Buhari administration, I believe this was about the first year of the government, agency of the government have not been complying with the provisions of getting the final approval from the president is false, and the attempt to suggest the vice president complicity in such irregularity is simply mischievous and reprehensible. The effective and mutually respecting relationship between the president and the vice president is well known to Nigerians, and it is a futile to instillate otherwise. Even though the vice president has a statutory role as board of chairman, some governance agency under his office with the appropriate approved limit, which often do not include contract approval. It is ludicrous to even institute that a board chairman approves contract. So the vice president remains committed to the service of his fatherland and will continue to do so despite of fake news. You they carry fake news, be careful. Oh. Thank you very much, Olanrewaju Teju Osho Limbos, for joining us on Niger Voices, and we are looking at just issues within the country, and we'll be looking at some of the upcoming events as well right here in United Kingdom. We'll be paying a courtesy visit again to the Nigerian High Commission in London on Friday, but there was a protest took place again today. Protest all the time, and that was in relating to the detention of Omoyele Sowore. Also, news coming out this morning was the Sahara Reporter Office has been sieged by the security operatives. They don't have details of that. We'll be telling you more on that. So the question now is to those of you that are listening to us, and those of you that might want to put your comment, so that we can read the comment for those that are listening to us on our apps, because we have some individuals that just love to listen to us while they are driving back home or they are making their their dinner. The question is, when situations like this arise, that especially at that top level, you can imagine the rumor, even though that has been debunked by the the office of the vice president, by his media aide Laolua Conde, saying that is all fake news. We urge media organizations as gatekeeper to uphold truth, balance, fairness and objective in their report. That is coming from them. So that is a fake news. But if individuals, we're all human beings, sometimes body language goes a long way. You don't have to tell Nigerians that something is right or something is wrong, I mean, imagine you're paying for your electricity and you're not getting that electricity. You definitely know that something is not right. You know, I mean, in my own area, as an example, the transformer has gone kaput for like almost 2 years and nothing is happening, you know, and you know that something is wrong. So it's just the body language. But what is your take if, you know, in that level where the office of the president and the vice president, even though this has been debunked as rumor, but knowing that, you know, what I read in the first place, where what could have been the reason behind the president now dissolving the special presidential investigation panel for recovery of public property? What could be the reason behind it? Just let us, you know, take a look inside the mind of, you know, those individuals, especially the president at the moment. You know, what could be the reason why this was dissolved? And this was set up by the then acting. So you can see that, you know, it's just the body language of, you know, some of these things that made Nigerians believe that, you know, is there a rift or something going on? But they've debunked it. And what else can we say? We are just here, you know, to tell you what they're telling us. So let's go back to reality, and I'll go back one more to Which Way Nigeria. I hope you remember that music. Yes, this is Niger Voices. If you're joining us very first time, make sure you tune in every Wednesday. And next week we have a very important guest that will be joining us from Ireland. You want to make sure you tune into that show next week. Yes, you cannot eat the lizard, you know, when it's fresh, even in China where they are eating lizard. Nigeria will be a better place, but you have a role, I have a role. Let us play those roles so that the next generation can at least enjoy it. This one I'm going to be playing very soon, Soweto by Sonny Okonso. Make sure you tune in. When you know, Air Peace is trying to take Nigeria out of South Africa and they are giving us problem, landing permit with all the apology, what is your take on that? This is called Niger Voices, and this is on Starr Radio UK. We're gonna be looking at the what the PDP are saying regarding the outcome of that you know, that took place. Like you all know now, I don't have to go into details. This is called Niger Voices, and we say thank you for listening to us on Starr Radio UK.
Fire is so waiting, burning on my people. There was fire in Angola.
There was fire in Angola, and there's fire in South Africa.
Riot in Mozambique, affecting all my people.
Online, on mobile, Swan DAB. This is Starr Radio UK, the leading African Caribbean radio station.
Healing all my people. Rebel in Zimbabwe, victimizing all my people.
Thank you for joining us.
My people crying. I look at them a shooting. My people are dying. I look at them a robbing. My people are sighing.
When you don't kill us, they won't evacuate us, yet you don't want to give us landing permit. Why?
Tell me where you gonna hide. When the best come, I say where you gonna run. When the luck come down, I say what you gonna do. When you find out the truth, the color of God, neither black nor white.
We welcome those of you that are joining us the very first time on this platform. It's called Star Radio UK.
We need something. Will you leave us alone?
So many tribunal cases. It looks like some individuals might not be happy. Your state, in Ogun State, APC retained the seat back again. The tribunal has completely failed in Ogun State. In Oyo State, Makinde continued to be the governor of Oyo State. Let's go back to the show.
Africa is our home. Freedom is our goal.
We're gonna be telling you what the statement from the PDP just after the petition tribunal that took place last week. We're taking lead. Let's take it more from Sonny Okozo. Fire in Soweto.
Fire in Angola. Burning on my people.
Let's wish Majek Fashek a very quick recovery. Still here in London.
Fighting in Namibia.
Africa, we keep fighting each other.
A shooting in Soweto. Killing on my people.
Why do we like killing ourselves? Problem.
Victimizing all my people. I look at them a shooting. My people are dying. I look at them a funny. My people are crying. I look at them a robbing. My people are sighing. Tell me where you gonna go when the best come. Tell me where you gonna hide.
Okay, let's take a read up to the press statement, and we're also going to be giving you the update from Nigeria today. So make sure you stay tuned, and we'll tell you what is happening. But the PDP raises alarm over the petition delay to release record of judgment, caution against tampering of evidence. The People's Democratic Party raises alarm over the undue delay by the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal to release the record of his widely criticized judgment to enable the party and its presidential candidate Alhaji Atiku Abubakar to promptly file an appeal to upturn the judgment at the Supreme Court. So they will be going to the Supreme Court, the highest court level in land, to still see if they can overturn the judgment by the Justice Garba, which a lot of you watched throughout last week. This is the PDP. Our party and millions of supporters across the country believe that the delay is a calculated attempt by some quarters to frustrate our appeal at the Supreme Court, where Nigerians have expressed confidence to get justice as well as restore the integrity of our judiciary, which has been eroded by the tribunal. It is instructive to state that the Court of Appeal is aware that our party and candidate have mandatory 14 days to appeal to the Supreme Court, yet it is delaying in releasing a judgment that was read for 9 hours and which it wants the public to believe it's actually wrote. Our party fears that this development is lending credency to suspicions in the public space that the judgment is being tampered with and altered in the name of correcting errors, knowing that there is no way the verdict can stand the scrutiny of the Supreme Court. We also hope that there is no link between the circumstances surrounding this delay and the boast by the Minister of Information and Culture, Alhaji Lai Mohammed, speaking on Buhari presidency as the national chairman of the All Progressive Congress, Adams Oshomole, that justice will not be served to the PDP and our presidential candidate at the Supreme Court. The PDP has always alerted Nigerians of the relentless effort by the APC to manipulate process, and we are happy that our party and Nigerians in general have a full video and audio recording of the judgment, and we will not hesitate to expose any underhand act by anybody. And the PDP therefore demands the immediate release of the record of judgment as delivered by the tribunal without any form of alternation. That is Kola Ologbodinyo, the national publicity of the secretary to PDP. So what is your take, after the outcome of these, tribunal? The PDP still believes that they can overturn that at the Supreme Court. What is your own take? You can call the studio on 0208 133 2257, 0208 133 2258, where you can tell us what you think, if there might be any changes from what the tribunal have, the verdict of the tribunal. Is there going to be any changes? Do you believe that something else can happen? Let's see and wait. But the PDP is requesting that they should release more information on that. So let's go back to some other stories as well that is trending as well. Not just only in Nigeria, on the social media as well. A number of them we'll be looking at that. But we're gonna come back to there's something happening at the Nigerian High Commission this Friday, where we're having our own cultural drama. I said Ayo Akinfe. It sounds similar, but they're both different. Ayo, the first, the cultural icon. Cultural icon who has taken the cultural heritage to a greater height on all the British TV station and the CNN. This is an individual that has done so much, that you don't want to miss out, the big event coming up. So Ayo the First, in conjunction with the Ben Television, present the first African cultural gala dinner in UK, and that is all coming up, very soon, which you can be part of that as well. So make sure you join him. But on Friday, before the event, this first cultural event that is coming up next month, the cultural icon, Ayo the First, to hold African Fit at the Nigerian High Commission in London. So if you are in London and you want to be part of it, make sure you get in touch with him so that you can be part of it as well. I mean, he has played for the royal family so many times. So and this is going to be happening on Friday, the September the 20th, where he will give fans a teaser as to what to expect at his forthcoming African Cultural Gala night, holding on the 19th of October 2019. And this is put together to showcase African culture before a global audience, and we'll be promoting the significance of diverse and opulent African heritage. There was a video I saw, I'm not sure whether this was in China or maybe Chinese students in Nigeria, but they were literally teaching them the Igbo language, and you wonder, a lot of us, even back here in United Kingdom, we hardly speak to our children in our native language. It's all about this English, and it's amazing to see that the Chinese are already, and before if they're already speaking in the Igbo language, you can imagine 10-15 years from now, what could be the outcome of this. So let us make sure that we don't shy away from our culture. Our culture is our culture, and there's nothing we can do to that. So we'll be looking into more other stories as well, but also if you want your event or you want to advertise on the show, you can call or email info@starradiouk.com. Make sure you you send an email to starradiouk.com, and I'm sure the team will be more than pleased to give you a very good package where you can get your services or whatever your upcoming event to a wider audience, not just only United Kingdom, but also in United Kingdom and outside the country as well. So you can send that to info@starradiouk.com. We go back to the second part of this show. We take a short break, and when we come back, we look at more issues and solution. Let us find solution to so many problems that we are facing as Africans. The killings of Africans to Africa is just something that is uncalled for, and it is important that we use all the diplomatic means to resolve these problems. And the envoy from the South African president delivered an apology letter to our president. Is that enough now? Is that going to be the end of it? All this it's something that we got to look into. But if you're listening for the first time, this is Niger Voices. Yes, every Wednesday on Starr Radio UK, you must check it out. And we'd like to say a big thank you to our sponsor of this program. While we take a short commercial break, we'll come back with more program as well.
Do you need to move? Stress not. Quake Removals is here to assist you. We do all kinds of removal, house to home removal, commercial and domestic removal, office and storage removal services and more. We are located in London, and you can call Quake Removals on 0759 4050 979 or info@quakemedia.com.
Yes, that is for those of you that want to make sure that for your all removal services in London, make sure you get in touch with Quakey Removal Services, and they will be pleased to move your goods from point A to B. And also, let's listen to employment right representation and advisory services.
Professional. Are you currently having capability or disciplinary issues at work? Have you recently been referred to the NMC, ACPC, GMC, any other regulatory bodies? Do you need confidential expert advice on work issues and professionalism? Do you need representation for your NMC, GMC, ACPC, interim or substantive hearing? If your answer is yes, please contact Dr. Abiaki Oshun of ERRAS, Employment Rights Representation and Advisory Service on 0208 305 7438 or 0207 140 0111 0745 195 6510. Our team of experts are ready to assist you in all aspects of your professionalism.
The team is ready to make sure that if you have don't wait till problem becomes a big one. Get in touch with the employment right representative and advisory services, whether it be a nurse, midwife, doctor, social worker, and healthcare professional. Make sure you reach out to them now so that they can help you to look at some of your problems, because if you leave it too late, then there's more wahala, like we will say in Nigeria. Let's take a look at some of the other stories and update coming out of Nigeria today, the 18th of September 2019. Christmas is around the corner. All your when January is coming, everybody writes something. I want to make sure I deliver this before 2019. I hope you've been working on that, because 2019 is fast going. In the next by this time next week, September will have been going away, and we'll be moving to October. So that means whatever you've planned, make sure you're really working on it as well. Also, we got to thank our guest last week, Lamide Muminot Okpeyemi, that is having a walk for the sun this October. You don't want to miss that. Celebra Palace. Make sure you join them on PPL bus stop Okoko Michael at 9 o'clock at October the 6th, which is just about 2 weeks from today. We had a very good interview with her last week, and we have so many children that are facing different challenges, across the country, and we can only hope I don't want to put just pray behind it, because that is always what we say all the time, but let's hope that the right authority will do the right thing and look at giving access to some of these children takes a lot. So let's just hope that the right thing will be done, and those that are really in need, that have those disability, can be really taken care of. So let's take a look at the update coming out of Nigeria this morning, and we also have Fayoshe government left 57 billion naira unpaid workers' salaries, pension arrears, and that is coming from the new governor of Ekiti State, Kayode Fayemi. What is this problem that when a governor is going, they will prefer to leave more wahala? Yes, it's continuation, but how come? I'm not sure. I don't have the details whether this was a month before the governor left office, or maybe it's accumulated arrears, and it's just unthinkable that the workers that have family, they got children, they have so many bills to pay, but yet salaries are being whole. Thank you very much, Samson Akinola. I can see you joining the show there as well. Kudos to the good work that you are doing within the Nigerian community, not just in the United Kingdom but across as well. I have spent 470 million naira to combat banditry, says governor. That is also coming out of there. Army began court martial of a former GOC over a missing 400 million naira. You see, when we talk about this amount of money, imagine what 400 million naira could do to children that have disability in Nigeria. 400 million naira will go a long way. It doesn't matter, even if they have to share it in every local government, it will go a long way. And one individual, will decide to sit on that money. 400 million naira. The army have now begun a court martial of a former GOC. How come we don't have a name of that GOC? It's quite a interesting one. 26-year-old other tips as a commissioner in Kwara State. We want more young people to go into governances and join politics. And kudos to the governor of Kwara State. For those of you that will remember, I had an interview with the wife. Let's see if we can we can pull out that interview. There was an interview we had with the wife of the governor of Kwara State. That was during our visit to London with the mayor of Brent, a very good friend of ours on Starr Radio UK. Let me see if I can. Yes, the interview was held on the 13th of August 2019 with Excellency Mrs. Olufolake Abdul Razak. Let us listen to that and we continue with the update. Just to find out, what is your plan as the First Lady of Kwara State, mostly for the children and women?
Vision where this I don't limit myself to just humanity at large. A lot of support from so in the first issues related still quite prevalent. Very, very their own, they've done so many things. And sell them off. Don't go back into the public. I've decided that it's sales acquisition. Making a show makeup, hair, beading, other things, fashion, and what Nigeria is a very cultural society, and also just a little men, once they have this, live well and to train others. So we have and so forth. We have so many like that, so many to make instead of just many things.
The wife, Excellency Mrs. Olufolake Abdulrazak, and I just played a bit of that as we also know that the 26-year-old and others tip as the commissioner in Kwara State. Sanwo-Olu, the wife of the governor of Lagos State, wife launches free surgery for 150 residents. Also is coming up from the update this morning. Lagos to create a one-stop shop for filmmakers and boost entertainment, and that is something that is important because the film industry has been one area that has really showcased the best of Nigeria across the world. So that is a very good one to have a one-stop shop for that as well. State government in race to put 10.5 million kids in schools. You might be wondering why we have huge amount of young children out of school, about 10.5 million. So there's now a race to put every one of them in school, and for that to happen, they must build schools closer to each of the local government, and equip them properly as well. It's about almost I got a kind of a message where school fees per term for private, I'm talking about private, is about almost 50,000 naira. Wow, that's quite a lot of money. Anyway, let's continue. Fresh FM wins Best Radio Station Award. Police tender report on Wiki's victory. AIICO insurance to create 16 billion new shares. 29 bodies found stuffed in 119 plastic bags in Mexico. Migrant mothers and children sue in US over asylum. That is also, let's now go back to more news. The second batch of 319 Nigerians have now departed South Africa, and I'm sure it's not a long journey. They should be home by now. Also, flood sacks caught in Kogi State. Can you imagine that? Also, the reps probe the PID on 9.6 billion contract, and I've invited Malami to come around and have a discussion with them. Also, over 10 billion naira compensation paid to communities for the second Niger bridge. That is, from the Minister for Works. I believe that's Fashola. The Minister for Works and Housing, Mr. Babatunde Fashola, telling us the Minister for Works and Housing, Mr. Babatunde Fashola, admitted on Wednesday that poor funding was the reason major road project delayed in 2015. Now that the federal government have released quite a lot of money, about 182 billion naira. So let's hope there will be more changes. Thank you very much, Korede O Alabi, for joining us on Niger Voices. Ola Shodonke, and also Samson Akinola, and also all the way from Lagos, AB, for joining us. Share the page, invite your friends. This is Niger Voices. We'll play more music, but let's listen to the last bit of the interview we did. This was in August with Excellency Mrs. Olufolake Abdul Razak, and this is Star Radio UK.
It's not as bad that so many other things go on and on about,
Just to get, because your new role, you were once with us as a diaspora. I will ask what is the message for the diaspora, but what is your new role like?
Well, my new role has been exciting. Very fulfilling. Work also in the UK with you has complemented my message to a lot of diasporans, and I'm very to the so amazing. It's to encourage them, like I said, start one even. I come across, they're always ready to listen and part.
Wow, that was the interview in August with Her Excellency Mrs. Olufolake Abdulrazak, the wife of the Kwara State Governor. It was an exclusive interview while she was paying a courtesy visit to the Mayor of Brent. Very soon we're going to be having the Mayor, yes, right here in the studio with us on Niger Voices. We'll let you know when the time get closer, so make sure you continue to stay tuned and get more updates on that. Also, we take you back to some of the updates. Wow, 4 banks have generated 24.3 billion from account maintenance charges. What is it that imagine you put 10,000 naira in your account thinking, okay, this money is not going to grow, but every time you go back and check your account, every time it keeps dropping, and you're thinking, okay, why is my 10,000 naira now 9,000 naira? You go back again, it drops down. I mean, for those of us that doesn't have that 400 million naira, I'm talking though, because there are some individuals that have so much that the maintenance charges might not be a problem. But for an average Nigerian that have only 2,000 naira inside their account or his account, then thinking, okay, I will withdraw 1,000 naira, to sustain myself. And then she wakes up or he wakes up in the morning and find out that any of these banks, I've done what they call maintenance. I receive maintenance information from my banker in UK, but I don't get information that they'll be taking money out. So I'm a bit lost and confused of how that process and how they've allowed it, to go for that long. I mean, 24.3 billion maintenance charges, just 4 banks. That is amazing. Let's take a look at that story. And this is between January and June. Amazing. Between January and June 2019, 4 leading banks generated 24.3 billion naira from account maintenance charge on their customers' account, investigation has shown. This has increased. Definitely it will increase now. It cannot decrease. It has increased at about 19.8% from 20.39 billion generated in the corresponding period in 2018. So it's gone up with about 4 billion. I mean, it's gone about 4 more than the 20. Some banks on monthly basis charge their customers 50 naira with or without card, while some deduct 1,000 naira from each customer's account per annual for maintaining their savings account. The Senate had in 2018 called on the Central Bank of Nigeria to suspend the deduction of card maintenance fee, and the upper legislative chamber also directed its banking committee to investigate the deduction in the comparison with what obtained in other countries. The earning of some banks in account maintenance charges may have been propelled by large customer base. Amazing. The 2 leading banks by profit, the Zenith Bank and the GT, for instance, have over 8.6 million and 16 million customers between both of them. Specifically, the Zenith Bank recorded 9.5 billion from account maintenance fee in the first 6 months of 2019. This reflects 10.7% increase from 8.6 billion reported in the first 6 months of 2018. There's a lot of money, and I hope somebody is looking into that. Once again, this is Starr Radio UK, and this is Niger Voices.
In your car,
At work,
at home,
on your smartphone.
Well, the CBN will begin charges on a deposit and withdrawal above 500,000 naira. Yes, you had it quite right there. The Central Bank of Nigeria on Tuesday, which was yesterday, said that the nationwide implementation of a cashless policy will begin in March 2020. It's not far away. October, November, December, January, February, March. 6 months. Is that enough to convince? I had a conversation with someone that is around at the moment. He's from Nigeria. Just been with us for the last couple of days, and he said to me, Yomi, the problem is the artisan that you are dealing with doesn't believe in this money transfer. They want to see the cash raw. As much as it's a safe one where you don't have to carry, in UK, for you to be carrying, I don't know, £1,000, £500 with you, I don't know. I can't remember the last time I had. I do carry a bit of cash, but to have about £500, my worry will be if this money get lost. The money that you're working very hard for, to now be carrying it like you can imagine having £500 in my pocket or inside my bag, and while I'm sleeping on the tray, you can imagine what drama will play out. Imagine somebody that has worked late night and you cannot cheat nature. and you're coming from the, I mean, you started work at, most night shift in UK. Yeah, there's night shift. Nigerians will be thinking, the night shift in Nigeria is a different night shift. I'm sure a lot of you understand that. Our own night shift is not the kind of night shift in the UK. I'm talking about serious night shift, and may the soul of one of the workers, and these are part of the issues that affecting, some of our workers here in United Kingdom. I was looking at the Evening Standard on my way to work, and we lost a worker at the Waterloo station last night, just about when you were sleeping. You were doing your you know what it is now in Nigeria, all these institution that keeps us awake with their noise. The details of what I'm talking about. A worker that works with the rail network died under 460 foot below ground, trapped with the machine. They tried everything. The ambulance was there, the fire brigade, but this individual passed away, and may the soul rest in perfect peace. And also to those that have lost individuals as well, family members. I think one of my friend, mother-in-law died, and we hope, we pray for the rest in peace, like they will say. So going back to the conversation, this my family friend that is from Nigeria. When people come from Nigeria, you just want to get as much information from them, and we were having this discussion. I said, the central bank has issued ultimatum for. I'll go back to the story of you sleeping on the train, going back home, and you slept off, and okay, let me finish that first, so that you can get a picture. So many times you see people woke up while they were sleeping, and they just run out of the train, and while they run out, the train close. If you're lucky, the person sitting next to you is very good, and you left maybe your earpiece or your mobile phone, they will take it to the next train station and drop it there. I've left something on the train, and a couple of times they've taken it down to the next station on my behalf. But if you're not lucky and you just been paid your salary, £1,200 average, before people start multiplying it by 440 naira, you can imagine. Thank you very much, Owolabi, for joining us as well. Imagine when you mention 1,200, well, average of £1,200, depending on which kind of job you are doing in UK, and that multiplied by naira, leave that alone. This money will be spent here, and you withdraw all that money and put it inside your bag, and then while you're coming from your late night walk, you woke up in the middle of where the train says the next station is Dalston, and you hear Dalston, that's my station, inside your sleep, and you woke up and run out of the platform, and luckily nobody is there. The next person comes in, see the bag, and says, this nice bag, open a 1,000 naira. So that is what we are saying here. So is this a good policy where the man that you are giving a contract to build your house wants you to bring money, and you say, no, Baba Mufu, no, the new policy says I have to transfer that money to you. You have to do the transfer to the next person. And Baba Mufu say, with all this fraud taking place online, I beg, bring this money. If not, this project cannot go on. So I hope in 6 months the government can do so much sanitization of these, because in the rural areas we'll still have people that believe in holding on to this cash. Cash is like something that they just love holding on to. For me, each time I'm in Nigeria, it's just the same. The way I, when I'm here, how do I want to carry cash with me? Because at the end of the day, what's the purpose of having 100,000 naira in your pocket, 200,000 naira? Even that one is quite heavy, because when you look at those, the way the money is, that's if you're getting the old one. If you get new one, Cripsy one, let me not say this way, because when I'm in Nigeria, I hardly even want to see the money. And somebody that is listening to me, on the other side of the globe, understand, what I'm saying. So I just love, to be without touching, or seeing the money. I don't know, but there's just this phobia of touching that money, or so I always prefer somebody to keep the money on my behalf. So that's what I do when I'm in Nigeria. So anyway, we will now be looking at this directive, where the central bank has now given this implementation, and in 6 months this is going to take effect. And the individual was saying to me, or maybe I read it from somewhere else, if you put in 100,000, 500,000, the bank will charge 10,000 naira on top of that if you withdraw. So, but is it the best policy? It saves, and the whole idea as well, again, so that we can trace, those are things that can carry the money and take it into their back of their boots and then keep it there. It's time. So it says that implementation of the policy will signal the imposition of charges on deposit in addition to the already existing charges on withdrawals. According to the circular, the charges, which take effect from Wednesday today, we attract 3% processing fees for withdrawals and 2% processing fees for lodgement of the amount above 500,000 naira for individuals' account. For corporate account, the Apex Bank in the circular said that the DMB will charge 5% processing fee for withdrawals and 3% processing fee for lodgement of amount above 3 million naira. The statement, however, disclosed that the charges on deposit will apply in Lagos, Ogun, Kano, Abia, Anambra, Rivers State, as well as the Federal Capital Territory. That I'm lost. I don't know why. Maybe you understand why. That was only happening in not just all the states, but also in few, particular state, Lagos, Ogun State, Kano, Abia. It added that the implementation of the cashless policy would take effect from 31st of March 2020. To further promote the cashless policy and enhance the collection of applicable government revenues, the CBN also announces a review of the process of merchant settlement. It added that with effect from Tuesday, September 17, the CBN has given approval for banks to unbundle merchant settlement amount and charge applicable taxes and duties on individual transactions as stipulated by regulation. Just to finish it up, a statement signed by the Director, Payment System Management Department of the CBN, Sam Okojeri, said a downward review of the merchant service charge has been approved. It says henceforth, the charges have been reduced from 0.75% cap at 1,200 naira to 0.50% cap that goes to 1,000 naira. And that is all coming from the update. Let's see if we might be able to squeeze one more, because I still have more music to play. But before we squeeze one more, let's finish the reality that we were listening to. Is a long one, but it's almost completed. Let's now listen to late Dr. Sikiro Inde Barrister. Yes, a very an artist that sang with some, you gotta listen and understand some of his message, and when you reflect on it now, it just keeps saying, wow, maybe. We give you a bit of entertainment news in just a few minutes. Big Brother Nigeria. Nigerians love that show so much. Even though South Africa, they fight us. Is it not amazing that even though with all the problem happening in South Africa, we are still enjoying the Big Brother Nigeria?
Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
Yes, 24/7. Tell you a little bit about what is happening inside the Big Brother Nigeria. I felt so much peace around Jedoni Coffee. I don't who is Coffee. Big Brother Nigeria, Elozona becomes head of house. What is all about? Join us every Wednesday on Star Radio UK. It's called Niger Voices. Nigerian artist Bankulu speaks on writing for Beyonce. I saw Tiwa Savage, that girl. Tiwa Savage walks runway for Naomi Campbell. Davido performed with Chris Brown at the Barclays Center. The American singer Chris Brown on Saturday brought out Nigerian popular singer Davido to perform alongside him at the Barclays Center stop of his Indigo tour. I think that must be the one I saw on Sunday. It was a very busy one, where almost everyone wanted to see. And I kept asking those, what is happening? But they won't tell me. Now I know what is happening. Some people thought my political career was a joke. Ibinabo. And as we let the case of, the late Dr. Sikiru Ayinde Barrister, we'll be giving you more, from another artist, Which Way Nigeria, as we know that, there is a lot of things that needs to be resolved and looked into. But Which Way Nigeria is talking to you and myself. K1's wife not bothered about rumor pregnancy of Aramide Adele, the manager. Let's take a look at that. Torafi Ige, about a week ago, news went viral that the veteran and the popular Fuji musician K1 the Ultimate had impregnated and married a solicite Aramide Adele, according to the report. K1 allegedly spent 15 million towards a party for her. However, the Vivid Imagination singer spokesperson Kunle Rashid has denied the news. Wow. Let's take a listen to Which Way Nigeria. Just about 15 more minutes before the end of the show tonight, and it's all happening on Star Radio UK, your finest African and Afro-Caribbean radio station in London, where we're transmitting from this evening.
Before we reach the promised land, let's save Nigeria, so Nigeria won't die.
We must save it so it doesn't die.
Welcome.
Social media handles, and we'll be back again next week. But for now, let's enjoy Which Way Nigeria.
Government, we know everything that goes wrong because we are part of the government.
Part of it?
Let's save Nigeria.
Well, we're not part of the government. Everyone is part of the government. Don't think because you're not a politician, you're part of the government as well.
This is Star Radio UK.
Inefficiency and indiscipline is ruining the country now. Corruption here, there, and everywhere. Inflation is soaring high.
Imagine how long we've been talking about corruption. Now, wow, Niger. Made the mistakes.
Knowing that was our doom. Some people now have everything, while many have nothing. Let's save Nigeria, so Nigeria won't fall.
Let's save Nigeria so that it doesn't fall. That is Sonny Okozo. Thank you very much for joining us, Christopher Martins, on Niger Voices this evening. And those of you that are listening to us on other social media handles or on our apps, we say thank you for listening.
All around the world.
Let's join our hands to find the love so we can have so Nigeria won't die.
Go, which way to go? Thank you very much, Adeniyi Adekenye, for joining us on Niger Voices. Everybody wants to be a millionaire.
We all want to be millionaires and to live in the air. Oh, let's save Nigeria so Nigeria won't die.
This is Starr Radio UK, and this is called Niger Voices. I remain your host, Olayomi Koike. You can reach out to us on 0208 133 2257. A special guest next week. Make sure you tune in.
Remember that a simple step is the beginning of a million miles. Let's start right now to rebuild ourselves so as to make the country smile.
Yes.
Let's save Nigeria.
Let's save Nigeria. Thank you very much, Baba Murphy, for joining us on Niger Voices. Share the page, invite your friend. It's just about 12 more minutes before the end of tonight's show, and it's called Niger Voices. Which way, Nigeria?
Oh, sure. Yes, I want to know.
In your car,
At work,
at home,
on your smartphone.
In the book of God, the good people we shall find their ways, and the meek will inherit the world. Let's save Nigeria.
Let's save Nigeria for the next generation. Stop thinking about yourself and your families alone. Think about the next generation. Let's save Nigeria now. Sonny Okozu, where is he now? Amazing music. These are artists that made us proud. Showcase the best of Nigeria. You can do the same thing. Talk more about your community, your state. What can people know about it? Tell us. Share it with us. Just stop complaining alone. If everybody's complaining, then where do we find a solution to all the problems? Which way, Nigeria? Which way to go? Which way to go?
Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
Yes, and that is Sonny Okozu. We had Sonny Lambe here about 2 weeks ago. He's doing very well. We'll be giving you more information at the stage of, I think he has now, he's gone on an interview for the London Assembly. That's Councillor Sonny Lambe that was here in the studio with me. Some few. I'll play in the last minute to get a bit of some of the advice he gave while he was in the studio with us. But for now, if you're thinking of moving and you want someone to do that, listen to this.
Press not. Koike Removals is here to assist you. We do all kinds of removal, house to home removal, commercial and domestic removal, office and storage removal services and more. We are located in London, and you can call Koike Removals on 0759 4050 979 or info@koikemedia.com.
Yes, if you're thinking of moving, you want someone professional to handle that for you. You got to get in touch with +4475 94050 979. We'll take about 3 of the I think we got a bit tough time. Engineer, do we? Yes, we do. I'm told. About 9 minutes before the end of tonight's show, it's called Niger Voices. Let's take a listen to Councillor Sonny Lambert while he was in the studio with us. How's he going to cope? And he's been coping since 1989, making us proud. That's Councillor Sonny Lambert. He had a very great interview with us right here in the studio. I mean, one thing is, rather than complaining, start something, do something, it doesn't matter how tough it could be. But let's take a listen to more of some of the extract from that interview we had with him around August 28th.
And also to see everything to make sure some people, especially our attitude of mind, are from the old school. Just like you see when we write about when we say some people are more some people who benefit because of gender. The question is, why can't we work together? Us growing together, men, women, whether in politics, whether in employment. It also goes back to when historically women, especially in Africa, without my sister, I wouldn't.
That was the interview we had with Sonny Lambert, Councillor. At the moment, we're following his development and we'll be keeping you posted as soon as everything is gone through. He's applying for some few positions under the Labour Party and United Kingdom. We'll give you more details. 5 more minutes before the end of tonight's show, and I'd like to say a big thank you to all our listeners and our viewers from around the globe, and those of you that have always been part of the the show. We couldn't have done this program without you being there. So thank you very much for staying tuned, and those of you that are also sending us messages and giving us your feedback. You can also send your feedback on the program to info@starradiouk.com. But one thing is, we all have a great hope for our country, Nigeria, and that is something that everyone must be ready to do, because at the end of the day, we can't leave the situation at hand to other countries to do it on our behalf. Even if you might not be in Nigeria, you can still do something. Support the NGOs, support different charities that are doing great works on the other side, and so that you can sit back in your 90s, in your 80s, in your hundreds, and look back and say, I've done quite a lot as well. Thank you very much, Esther, for joining us on Niger Voices this evening. If you've missed the show, it will be on the podcast, and also you can also repeat the show and watch it back again. The one thing is, we are here to tell you what is happening. You decide based on what we've told you how you can, work around it as well. And if we have said something that is not maybe your take, you can also tell us. You can reach out to me +447594050979. Or do you have any guests that you want us to invite and let them come on air and tell us the way it is? We're trying everything to get in touch with the spokesman of we've had one with the PDP, with the APC. We're trying everything, be it Mr. Femi Adesina or Gaba Shehu, to see if they can come on Niger Voices. But we will let you know as soon as we have that information with us. But one thing is, everybody, like Sonny Okuzu said, has a role to play in developing a country, and that is what my guest next week will be looking into. He's going to be telling us how we can get involved as well, making sure that we help, we support, because yes, the politicians keep lying, and it's not just the politicians of today. There are some politicians that have been there for decades and they are rot, but one thing is, you can be part of the system as well, join a political party, join the existing one, and get involved. Don't sit down and moan and complain. You can get involved as well, and I'm sure you could be that change that we are waiting for. So, and on that note, as I bring the show to an end, I will say thank you to my sponsor, Koike Removal Services, and the Employment Right Representative Advisory Services right here in United Kingdom. And you can also do the same. Let us know what services you're offering to the community, or if you're coming up with an event, do let us know. Let us get involved. If we don't know, we can get involved. So let us leave you with PTOs, one music I enjoy so much, and we hope the politician with PTOs. And I will be saying good night. I'll be back again same time next week, Wednesday, 1800 hours, with a very special guest that will be joining us from Highland, discussing with us development. You can sit down and moan, but some people are doing everything possible to make not just Nigerians in Nigeria okay, but Nigerians here as well to do better. And on that note, PTOs.
In your car,
At work,
at home,
on your smartphone.
This is Starr Radio UK.
all around the world.
Believe. All my life.
I've left to Nigeria, my country, with all my heart. Anywhere I go to
Niger.
Anything I do na Niger.
Niger.
This is Starr Radio UK.
Invest in my Niger.
Let's continue to invest.
Politicians show some love.
The best radio show.
And to my producer and all the engineers that have been working tirelessly behind the scene, I say congratulations and thank you for making Niger Voices, to be heard across the globe. And tomorrow, the Property Hour is back again. Make sure you tune in.
The best radio show.
Today our God right food for our body. As we there for here, we dey complain our only food for our body. Oh. Hey, start your conscience. Oh. We self we no good. Oh. Make we live right. Oh. We self we know they try. I don't say everyday politicians steal our money. I don't say politicians carry our money go overseas.
In your car,
At work,
at home,
on your smartphone.
Oh, people they die, yo. Their children they overseas. The divorce, oh. Politicians have mercy on us, oh. We don't they die, yo. Anything we do, please, pity for us, oh. Politicians have mercy on us, oh. Oh no, 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 no.